Hi, Taurus and Taurus Rising. Welcome to your May 2016 reading. This is an exciting month and a tricky month because we're going through retrograde. So in honor of that, I wanted to shift the beginning portion of this reading anyway. Normally, I start with a catalyst card, which sort of connects everything that we look at. But this month, since we're going to be dealing with a little bit of triggers, some shadow elements, and then also opportunities, light, because that's really what retrograde is. It's bringing things that you haven't taken care of to light, and then allowing you other opportunities to grow. So I wanted to bring those two cards at the beginning. So we'll look at a shadow and a light, or a higher and a lower sort of vibrational opportunity. And then the rest of the extended forecast will be exactly as it normally is. So to that end, we normally start with channeled information, something that I meditate on before we do the reading. And for you, the word that came to me was tenacity. And basically tenacity, and I went ahead and looked it up because the words come to me. I know it's sort of meant to be very strong, but it said the quality or fact of being able to grip something firmly, being very determined, and also sort of to continue to persist through something. So it's like perseverance, basically. So this is good for you because I feel like tenacity and Taurus sort of go hand in hand. The way I would connect it into a retrograde reading, particularly for this May, is to have a thicker skin, basically, and be able to take what people give you and not freak out, not panic, not feel like you have to prove something. And it's a lot easier said than done, as we all know. So what I'd like you to try to do this month is to be perseverant, to not let any of this sort of noise bring you down. Let's take a look now at what I'm calling sort of the trigger card, or the shadow card, or the lower frequency. What this is going to be is kind of like what could set you off during retrograde. And I shuffled, and it's the same card as another sign. Passion is our biggest sort of pitfall perhaps this month, and this can come in multiple ways. It can be love of another. It could be jealousy of another, because that is one way that passion shows through. This card also has a little bit of ego involved with it. You'll notice there's a lot of masculine energy. There's a lot of someone sort of feeling like they know best, and they passionately go forward with that. It says love, but it's about being able to love and see from many points of view, not just your own. Okay, so get out of your body, out of your mind, and sort of empathize with other people. Out of your ego, you have to sort of like remove yourself a little bit, because this is a very powerful card, and I want you to feel strong and feel loved during this period, but I don't want you to be so sort of overconfident that you push other people away. Okay, so the love has to, the passion has to be tempered a little bit this month. Think temperance, not eros. And when we look now at your light, or your sort of opportunity for this month, if one is a trigger, the other one is sort of really what you should be focusing on, what the shadow's hiding. And with the shadows hiding for you, you know what? Two cards want to come through, so I'll allow them. The two cards are feeling and knowing. It actually says she feels, she knows. So this is about the more receptive side of you, because symbolically, that's where our sort of feminine energy goes. So this is for both men and women. What you really need to do is focus on the intuition, what you already sort of know without somebody telling you, without me telling you, without someone else. Basically, you need to listen to it this month. And it's interesting because I told you I want you to temper sort of the passion, but I will say this: if someone for some reason is attacking your family, is attacking your livelihood, you do want to defend it. And especially if it's something where you know you're in the right. Now, you'll notice this sort of looks like Athena here. At least that's what I'm reading with the owl. That was the immediate thing that I got. Athena is all about logic, trying to do what's fair. And so I want you to really think about the wisdom behind this, if you have to defend yourself in like a court of law, making sure that this doesn't enter in. It's more about this. They're both strong, but in different ways. This is using facts. This is using opinion. And I really want you to go to the facts this month. I want you to have all the strength and the beauty that we see with Eros. And I still want that passion to be there, but let the facts even it out. So thinking of the scales, I want you to be a little bit scales of justice, a scale of Libra. You need to just find a way to see both points of view, and then you'll succeed. And for most of you, you already kind of know how it is that you should attack or go about finding the resolution to this. And you definitely want to pay attention to intuition. One other thing that comes through with that knowing and feeling card is that 9 times out of 10, when you don't listen to what you think inside, it has a way of coming back to bite you. So I want you to make sure that you're very cognizant of intuitive flashes, whether it's through a dream, a vision, or a persistent thought this month, because it can come in all three. So let's take a look and see specifically what's coming through, what you need to be aware of. And just a reminder, a lot of people get very nervous about retrograde. For me, I think it's an opportunity to be able to finally escape cycles that you may have been unwilling, unready, or just sort of like too stubborn to take a look at. So if you resolve the cycles, the retrograde eases, and then you find opportunities. If you fight the cycles or ignore them, that's typically when things start to get a little tricky. So your center card, and I see this as a theme for a lot of us, it was the 6 of Pentacles for Aries. For you, it's actually the 8. 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah. So for you, it's about making beautiful work this month. For many of you, this could mean finally sort of embarking on or finishing up a really important task. It could be a home improvement. It could be a health sort of endeavor, maybe getting fit for a 5K or trying to get your blood pressure down, whatever. But you finally made some positive strides. Now for savings, it's great. It's showing me that you've been working really hard. The 7s are about overcoming or paying off debt. The 8s are about saving and also accomplishing and working your way to more recognition. Sort of what you would see in the 3 of Pentacles or the 10 of Pentacles or even the 9 of Pentacles. So you're actually on your way to success with this card. Like I said, retrograde's not always bad. Your key will be to stay focused, because if we were to look here, this is basically saying be persistent, be tenacious, don't let go. And then this one is also saying, like for some of you, this card can be about defending a thesis, or taking a final exam, or basically taking that first big step towards starting a business. It's something like that, where you're sort of going to be tested one more time by the universe, or sort of not just symbolically, but maybe literally tested to make sure that you want to do it. We never think of exams that way, but it's sort of, we have all these little, sometimes symbolic, sometimes like a ritual, and sometimes real, where you have to sort of say, yes, I still want to do it. Yes, I know, and this is why, and I'll prove it. And so that's what you want to be focusing on. Love will be a central theme to you this month. It is crossing that 8 of Pentacles, which is saying that passion, love, and emotions could take you off that track. So, make sure that whoever you have in your life, whoever you're celebrating life with, is there to support, not to derail you. Okay, so the Moon card in the deep past is showing me, for many of you, what's coming through right now could be a truth that has been hidden, or a deception that is just coming to light, because the Moon is about sometimes those hidden things that others may be trying to sort of sweep under the rug. That's actually what I'm getting with this card. And when I look at the 2 dogs on this, it's about loyalty. So that's where you have to be very careful with friends this month, and I would say, don't overshare, don't pick at people either. It's just a good month to fly under the radar if you can. Let's pull the camera down so you can see the cards as I go through them. The 2 of Wands here in the recent past is a great card. It's basically showing me, you notice here, I love this illustration, and it's almost, you never get this with other sort of decks, but this is your month to sort of like spark the flame of sort of like what is it, like excitement, and getting people to finally, it's like a light bulb moment. I understand, I see your point of view. So yeah, you're either sparking your own creativity, others' imaginations, or getting them to see the big picture. So for those of you that need to pitch a really big project or to get investors, Great month to start talking. Again, be careful with the contracts of it, the contract details rather, but great time right now if you haven't already begun that. So what I see here as your crowning card is finance is actually good for you. And I spend a good deal of time talking to Aries about being careful. I think what's happening for you, because again, retrogrades are beginnings and ends of cycles. So for some of you, you've been working for a long time. Maybe you're trying to sell your house. Maybe you've tried to sell things on eBay. Maybe you just finally got that amount of money that you need to pay off a big bill or get out of debt or bankruptcy or whatever. And so what this is showing me is you worked really hard, and you can, if the stars align for you, sort of break through this month, whatever it is. And even if it's a small breakthrough, it doesn't have to be like gigantic, like the King of Coins here, or the King of Pentacles. But what it can mean is finally things are open for you. So I want you to basically persevere, be tenacious through this retrograde, and stay honest and stick to your guns when it comes to budgets, contract details. This is where I do want you to sort of like make sure that you're going through and saying, no, we agreed per our last conversation to this, this, and this. So in negotiations, you want to be very logical and have all of your backing details. With the Five of Swords, in the middle of the month, this is going to be sort of the trickiest time for you. This is where you're really going to need to be focusing on just working and putting in the 9 to 5, not always having sort of like a clear idea of where it's all going. That's where you have to persevere. So the middle of the month, towards almost the end of retrograde, since I believe it's done on the 22nd or so, you feel like I just need a break. You're going to have to push until the last week, and then an aha moment will happen, and it's going to be a little bit better for you. With the Knight of Staves in reverse, this is in your ego position. Please, please, please don't be too stubborn. And I know it's hard for Taurus sometimes, because being headstrong is actually a good attribute of this sign, but not this month, not when it comes to not listening. So I want you to be strong and defend yourself when it comes to maybe someone challenging you for, are you sure you want to go forward with an exciting part of your life, like a thesis, buying a new house, whatever it is, it's going to require that kind of defense is good. But if you become defensive, or if you become closed off and stubborn, then you're going to miss other people's points of view. That's your challenge, one of your challenges this month. That's where the passion comes in. And because your sign actually is very passionate, very protective as well, watch yourself when it comes to sort of like arguments. Towards the middle to end of the month, this is when the money situation is going to seem the most challenging. We've got the Five of Pentacles, which means a lot of work being done in that area, but maybe in your financial area, in your work area, but not a lot of yield. I see the yields coming at the end of the month and even into next month. You got to keep your mind on the long-term goal. With King of Coins being your crowning card, I'm not worried about the environmental card being the Five of Coins. What you really want to do in a Five of Coins environment card is take a look at preventative maintenance for your house and your car. So fill up the tires in the car. Make sure that the faucets aren't leaking and that there's nothing wrong with the roof and things like that. You can actually save yourself money by doing a small repair this month. And it is a month of RE, like repair, review, renew, all of that. So you could do something. Home improvements are okay this month. So take a look around all parts of your life. This even includes your health, making sure that you're doing some preventative work to not gain too much weight, to keep your blood pressure down, whatever it is. That's going to help you not sort of experience the Five of Coins, which is wanting more than you have, or needing more than you have, rather. Okay, so towards the very end of the month, like the last week when we're post-retrograde, I see Knight of Swords. This is the time for you to execute on any sort of contracts. If there's a court case, if there's a difficult conversation or argument that you do have to sort of bring up, this is the time. So if I were to look at the calendar so I can give you a date range, and we're looking at May, it's really, I would say towards the end of the week of the 23rd, preferably the week of the 30th, like when we're almost getting into June, that's when you can you're going to feel your strength come back. You're going to feel much more centered. And also because Knight of Swords is a great card for confidence and speech. So I feel like you're going to get your voice back if you've lost it, or if you have chosen to be a little bit quieter during the first part of the month, which I do think is wise. You're going to find it towards the end. The one thing that's challenging for you overall this month, and I won't sugarcoat that, is emotional situations, love for certain. So what's coming through here, we're going to look at, I always look at love separately, but I want to just take one quick look at love because we got Eros, basically symbolizing love and a powerful love. We have the Lovers, but it's over top of a work card. So for some of you, a work and a money card, love may come in an unexpected way or in a complicated way through like an office romance, through a friend of a friend that you're sort of, it comes in an unexpected way, and it could be, to sort of quote an old movie, it's like a dangerous liaison. You want to be careful to not get caught up in something that could put your finances at risk, because we have King of Coins, Eight of Pentacles, and the Moon showing, you know, again, possible deception, and then the Lovers card on this. So I want many of you to be careful if you're in a work or political situation where this could somehow affect or unnerve your sort of public image or your stability. You want to really think, is this right? Because for those of you that do find yourself in that situation, we have the King of Cups reversed. And so what this means is heightened emotions, perhaps some sadness, or perhaps a public display where this all comes out and you're not happy about it. I want you to try to just with relationships this month, do your best to be in a supportive role rather than a role where you're asking for as much as your partner's getting. So the scales will be out of balance a little bit for you this month, but I think it's okay, as long as, again, you're not sort of putting your livelihood at risk or anything like that. So be smart about your relationships. Make sure that they aren't going to harm any part of your life, your children, your political standing, whatever. And then if all of that checks out and that doesn't resonate, then what I would say is it's going to be a time this month where your partners will probably need more from you than you're used to. And you may be the one that normally gets attention, but this is a month where you're going to be asked to supply rather than receive. All right, so let's extend the forecast, and then I'll do a quick summary at the end. So for health, which includes both mind, body, and spirit, I should say, the message here is not to sort of overachieve, and really a focus on family if you have a family, and if you don't, then I actually want you to treat yourself like you're this, like basically do something that you love. Treat your inner child a little bit. So it could be going to a movie, it could be taking an exercise class, it could just be sleeping in on the weekend. Do something that pampers yourself. It will actually help you be more creative and more productive. So rest is the number one thing that's coming through for those of you that are in otherwise good health. For those of you that are suffering from insomnia, then remember that sort of baby, what it's about here is taking care of basic needs. And a lot of times the insomnia comes up when we've neglected parts of our life and we're worrying and we just sort of need someone to soothe us. It might be a good time to reach out to family or friend. You need someone to just sort of love you back. And like I said, it may not be your partner this month. I don't want you going to other people for love. I'm just saying for like friendship and being consoled, it may be a good time to kind of reach out for friends. All right, so when we look at your wealth and sort of prosperity this month, we'll take one from the bottom. It is a month where you're actually going to be asked to perform in some way or the other. So this could be giving a public speech, for instance. It could be having to speak sort of on the fly. If you're a student, you might be called on to do something like pop quizzes, unexpected things. So I want you to be ready to be in the public light and realize that you do have that part of you that enjoys being the center of attention. So embrace it rather than fight it, because there's going to be some opportunities associated, growth opportunities. And if you show that you're willing to sort of maybe wing it, maybe just sort of put yourself out there where it could be uncomfortable, but other people love it, then again, I feel like you could actually end up making some additional money. There could be some great things that come out of that. For some of you, this means that if you have a side job as an artist, an actor, some other sort of performer, you could have a breakthrough this month where there's someone that calls you up a part or something like that. Now, looking at your love, trust came through, and it's reversed just like the moon. So really do follow your intuition. Remember the knowing and feeling card that I pulled at the beginning, which was on the light side, which means that it's something you should trust. So if you don't trust somebody, then it is time for you to move on, because this card, in this deck anyway, symbolizes the Fool, which is about movement. And this card is all about freedom. So for those of you holding on to a relationship where you're fairly certain that it's not positive and that someone might be lying, try to find the truth, try to approach them about it. And if that is the case, then it's a good time to move on. Finally, let's look at the Destiny card, which is really the opportunity, just like the light portion that I pulled at the beginning, for advancement, for basically what your soul's path is this month. And it is activation, which is a beautiful card. I really feel this comes for you around the 29th, the 30th, etc., really the last few days of the month. And you're going to feel like you finally moved through something really, really hard for you to sort of articulate to other people. I feel like this is a month for you to demonstrate what you need, want, etc. So by the end of the month, you're going to feel comfortable enough to sort of articulate it, but I think you're going to have to sort of move through the motions at the first part of the month. All right, let's summarize and bring this into clarity for you. It's a great month for you to get ahead and get control of your finances, with your crowning card being the King of Coins, and also with your center card being the Eight of Coins. I see lots of advancement in stability with like your house, with your finances, with work, with accomplishments. You can actually use the Lover's card here in the center to show yourself in a better light at work. But for many of you, there's a temptation perhaps to go into a relationship that could lead to sadness in the long run. So I want you to be very mindful of what the policies are where you work and how this all might feel if other people knew about it. Other positive aspects this month, though, are, again, it's a month to spark and ignite ideas, and this really goes along with the activation. And you see here the wind activating the fire here in the wood. So basically, it's a good time to take flight. I really think that the last week is when most of that's going to happen, but you have to start to spark the flame at the beginning. So stay with it, stick with just working hard, and that's what I see at the middle of the month, around the 15th to the 17th. You're just going to have to basically make do with not knowing how far you're coming along. You just have to go to work and get it done, basically. Caution on sort of not being too stubborn, and again, knowing towards the end of the month you're going to find your voice again, but you may have to deal with repercussions of office romances or relationships where you find out that there might be a betrayal. Your key thing is to focus and stay on track, okay? Again, passion can take you off your track towards enlightenment and happiness this month. Follow your intuition. Defend what needs to be defended if the facts support it, only if the facts support it. Take care of yourself is what I see here with Easy Does It. Rest is paramount, and then doing something that makes your inner child happy is great. Don't shy away from being in the limelight. It's going to help you with work. If you don't trust someone, it's probably for a good reason. Dig a little deeper and feel free to release that relationship, and then celebrate the fruition or the activation of whatever dream or aspiration that you have towards the end of the month. Okay? So an exciting and a completely manageable month, I believe, despite it being a retrograde. So celebrate that. And if you ever feel the need that you want more of a one-on-one, I do offer telephone, Skype, and FaceTime readings. Additionally, if you just want to keep in touch, this, of course, is a great place, and you can subscribe here, and you'll be the first to know when something is announced, new videos posted. You can also like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, and I've recently joined Instagram as well. So all of those places are a great way to sort of keep abreast of when something new is coming out. Otherwise, I just want to say thank you, because I do appreciate all of the support, the likes, and the feedback that you all give me on a month-to-month basis. It does keep me engaged, and I know it's a privilege for me to be able to talk to you every month. So thank you for listening to my video and making time with me. Have a great month. Best of luck. Sat Nam. I'll see you again next month. Okay. Bye-bye.